guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be doing a foundation routine, and I haven't done a foundation routine I feel like in forever. So I'm doing that today, and I am using more of like a higher end foundation. I usually use drugstore foundations, but to be honest, I do switch up my foundations a lot. But this routine is the one that I currently like the best, and it really helps cover some of my acne. I broke out really bad recently, and this really helps cover it up without drying them out and clinging onto my dry patches. So I figured you guys would enjoy this video, and yeah, let's get into it. Alrighty, so this is my face without anything on. I don't have moisturizer, makeup, nothing. So as you can already tell, I have this situation going on right here. I broke out I broke out like almost a month ago. I'm blaming it on stress and hormones. It was just terrible. Like all of a sudden it all came out. Oh my god, it was terrible, guys. And then I have like these two things on my forehead. They're actually like little tiny pimples, and then it's my fault. I played with them and they're scabs now. But for the most part, I just have two active breakouts right here, and then all of this is like scarring. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. It's lovely. They just don't want to leave me alone. They just love me so much. So for moisturizer, I always start off with moisturizer. I have really dry skin. And I usually use my Burt's Bees Daily Moisturizing Cream, which I do really like, but I'm trying something new right now. This is by Origins. It's the Ginzing Energy Booster Moisturizer. I really like this. I've had a couple samples of it, and this is actually from Sephora. It's their 500 point perk right now. It has the daily moisturizer, the eye cream, the night cream, and the facial cleanser. And these are really big samples for the 500 point. It's usually like little makeup stuff, but this is a really, really good one. So if you guys want to try out the Origins stuff, I definitely recommend you going to your Sephora like ASAP and getting it. I really like this so far though. It's like, it smells like orange sherbet, and it's just very light. It's almost like a jelly feeling, and it sinks in really quickly, so I love that. I don't like my moisturizers to feel heavy, even though I do have dry skin. I like very lightweight moisturizers. I don't want to feel it on my skin. I want it to sink in quickly. And this does that. Oh, I love it. So I'm going to let that sink in. I'm going to do my eye cream. This is also by Origins. It was in the same set. And this is the Ginseng Refreshing Eye Cream. And I do really like the Yes to Blueberries eye cream. Oh my god, that's definitely my favorite one. Unfortunately, it's been discontinued. So I'm trying to find other eye creams and see which one I really like so I could use it in my videos. Because I know it kind of stinks when like people talk about discontinued products in their videos. You're like, why are you mentioning that? Like, I can't get it. So I'm trying some new stuff out for you guys, and so far I'm really liking this. This is really great if you have really dark under eyes and if you want to also brighten and depuff. So this is really good for that. I like eye creams that are just very hydrating and moisturizing. If it's hydrating, it's moisturizing, right? Typically like eye creams that are moisturizing and also firm up some lines underneath there, but so far these are really good. I like them. So I'm gonna let this sink in for a little bit, and then I will move on to foundation. So I let the moisturizer sink in for about 10 minutes now. I mean, this moisturizer sinks in really quickly, so you can let it sink in for like 5 minutes and you're fine. I just like to really get it in there, let it sink in. So now on to foundation, and I've been using the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Foundation. I'm in the color Light Medium Sand. It's really, really good. I like this foundation. You just have to know how to use it. It says full coverage, it's 12-hour makeup, and it can kind of scare you if you have dry skin, because usually when things say like full coverage, 12-hour, it's matte and drying. This is actually not matte, it's not drying, and it doesn't cling on to my doesn't cling on to my dry patches. It has a beautiful like satiny natural finish. I'm like obsessed with this foundation, but the first time that I used it, it didn't last on me whatsoever. I was like 12 hours, no. You just have to play with it and learn how to use it. You definitely have to set it with a powder, especially if you have oily skin, and that's gonna help it prolong the wear. It's gonna help it last longer. So I just take some on my hand like this, and I just dot. I go like this, 1, 2, 3, and this is like a, in my hair. This is like a moussey texture. It's a little bit more moussier than the Revlon Color Stay Whipped, but it's kind of on the same level. So I like to kind of drag it. I don't like to dot it because it can get kind of thick. So I do it on one side of my face, and I take my Real Technique sponge. It's damp, and I'm just blending this out, just dotting it on. And it gives really good coverage, guys. Like I said, it does not cling on to my dry patches, which if you have dry skin, like that's the one thing you want in your foundation. You don't want it to cling on to the dry patches because, ugh, that's disgusting. I hate it so much. Other side, just like that. And you'll see on this side that it covers really well. It's not going to do full coverage unless you really apply a lot of the foundation, which I don't like, but it covers nicely, and it's almost like a natural kind of finish because you can see them peeking through, but it doesn't look bad. It just looks like, you know, it's your natural face. I don't know. And I also really like that this foundation doesn't get cakey. Oh my god, you know how sometimes you put just way too much foundation on and during the day you feel like you can just take your finger and just like scrape it all off? Like, you guys know what I mean? It's just so gross, I don't even want to think about it, but this foundation isn't cakey at all and you just need a little bit. You don't need a lot, so. Also bring the foundation down my neck, and this foundation isn't my exact shade, so I have to bring it down. But to be honest, even when like a foundation is an exact shade for me, like the Maybelline Fit Me, that is like perfect for me. I still bring it down my neck just in case. You always want to bring it down your neck. The last thing you want is to look like you're wearing a mask. Ugh, it's terrible. I feel like I look kind of scary right now. This is a very like yellowy foundation, so I feel like I'm looking really yellow right now. This is just with one light layer. You can still kind of see some redness here, and you can still see my acne scars and stuff, but it's not terrible. Like, it doesn't look bad at all, in my opinion. Like, I don't mind if you can see a little bit of my acne and a little bit of my scars. Like, it still looks natural, you know? I don't want to look caked up. So I let the foundation really sink in. I want it to look really pretty and natural. You gotta let it sink in. You don't want to move it around. So then I usually move on to my eyebrows and my eyes. I'm gonna do that, and then I'll meet you back here when I'm doing my concealer. Going in with my concealers, and the first one that I'm going to do, or the first one that I'm going to use, is for my acne and stuff like that, and I use the Revlon Photoready Stick Concealer, and I did a whole video on my Faves and Nays Drugstore Concealer Edition and all that, so if you guys want to check it out, I'll leave that down below. And I also forgot to mention that I don't use a primer for my face. Primers and we don't get along, so I leave them alone, they leave me alone, and we're good. They just break me out all the time, and I'm tired of breaking out, guys. It's like, just leave me alone, you know? So I'm taking the Revlon Photoready Concealer, and I'm just taking it on my finger and then just dabbing it on the areas where I need it, mainly on my lovely chin. That's just looking real lovely today. So it's now time to do my concealer underneath my eyes. I do it after my eyeshadow because I might have some fallout, and I also clean up the eyeshadow edge with my concealer and my sponge. So I'm taking the CoverGirl Fresh Complexion Concealer. I apologize for my phone. And this is discontinued, but the concealer in the Ready Set Gorgeous line by CoverGirl, it's the same exact thing. It's the same shape. It's just different cap a little bit, and it says Ready Set Gorgeous on it, something like that. And then that concealer is to cover up my under eye circles, little purple that I have under there, and then I'm using the Maybelline Dream Lumi concealer thing to highlight. And I really like this one. It's very pinky, which I like. I like pinky highlights, I like yellowy highlights, I like them all. So I did that, and now I'm taking my complexion sponge again and just lightly blending this out. I'm starting on the lower half first, and then I'm going to work my way back like this, and then work my way into right underneath my eye. So at this point, I just take my finger and get right in the inner corner. And I just let the concealer sink in. I feel like just if you want to have good looking makeup, obviously good looking makeup starts with good looking skin, so you have to take care of your skin. But for the most part, you just have to let these products sink in and, you know, do their job before you just go ahead and powder it right away. Let it sink in for a little bit, let it get comfortable, and then it'll be okay. My eyelashes are so clumpy today. I don't know what's going on. I think I need to buy a new mascara too. But I'm going to set my concealer now, and for my under eyes, I use two items now. crud, I forgot to highlight my forehead. I usually like to highlight my forehead. I'm gonna do it right now, just like this, just like a little arrow right in the middle. I'm lovely, right? And I just blend it out with my fingers really quickly. And then when I bronze up my face, it'll help blend everything out. Like, it'll just look really, really nice. So what I do to set, I usually will just take L'Oreal's True Match powder. This is in N1. But I recently bought Max Emphasize, which I do really like. So I've been using that a lot lately. It's right here. So I dip this e.l.f. small tapered brush right into L'Oreal True Match like this. And you should never have the powder just sitting on your brush like this. It's going to make your makeup look super cakey. So you have to tap off the excess. So it gets all of that excess off. I tap a little bit into Emphasize, tap off, and I'm just going to set my under eye. And the L'Oreal True Match powder really gives just extra coverage underneath your eye. So if you're finding that your concealer doesn't cover everything or doesn't do like full coverage, take a powder foundation and that's really going to help just give it maximum coverage. And just dab it right there. And I use the Emphasize by MAC just to kind of highlight, give an extra bit of a highlight. And then to really set that concealer that I use to cover up my blemishes, I'm just doing the same thing. But I don't use MAC Emphasize here. I just use the L'Oreal True Match because I really need coverage mainly. And then I'm just going to set my whole face with L'Oreal's True Match, not Emphasize. And I usually use, I'll use the Real Techniques Big Powder Brush actually, or I'll use the e.l.f. Complexion Brush. Just depends on my mood. I'm just taking a little bit, tapping off the excess. That's how you get really cakey, if you just take your powder and just slap it on your face. So now it's time to bring some color back into my face. I look like a ghost with eyebrows on. It's crazy. So I'm using Benefit's Hoola bronzer, and this actually used to be a nay for me. I did not like this bronzer whatsoever. I don't like it to contour. I know a lot of people do. I just like it to bronze up my face. So I'm getting some on this Multitasker brush by Real Techniques, tapping off the excess. I'm just going to bronze up my forehead first, and this is really going to help blend out the highlight that I put right in the middle of my forehead. To just bronze up my cheeks just a little bit. I am going to contour later, but this just helps give a nice gradient, so it's not like a strict contour and then that's it. This is going to help blend everything out. It's going to look more natural, so I always recommend bronzing your face first and then contouring. And then, as you can see, this is kind of weird, so I just take my e.l.f. Kabuki brush and blend that out. So I'm using the Balm's Bahama Mama bronzer to contour. I love this. If you are really fair, don't get scared of this because it is kind of dark. Just use a little bit. I dabbed my brush twice and then I'm tapping off the excess. To contour, I start right up here and then I kind of bring it down right here. So when I look straight, it kind of has like, I have like cheekbones. You guys know what I mean? So then you always want to blend upwards. And there you go, that's my contour for today. 1, 2, tap the excess off. I really do like contouring and bronzing. I just feel like it brings everything together. I love it, I love it. I do have a blush in this MAC palette right here. This is MAC's Dainty, and I do really like it. It's a mineralized blush. I usually switch up my blush every day, so why not? This is a really pretty color. So I've been really into the Sonia Kashuk. It's an angled brush to apply my blush, tapping off the excess. And what I like to do is just put it like this with the angle side, like it's going like that. I don't like to smile. I just kind of look at my face right here, and this is where I want my blush, right here. And you just put it right where you want it, and you should be okay. My blush is done, and if you ever find that you go maybe a little bit too far down with your bronzer or maybe too far in with your blush, a really easy way to fix that up, you take the powder that you used to set your face, and I'm just going to take that same brush that I can't find, the e.l.f., here we go, small taper brush. You take some of it on there, and you just, let's say you went a little bit too far down, you just put the powder there and it lightens that area up. You maybe brought your blush too far in, you just dab it in and it just lightens that whole area up so you don't have to look all muddy or cakey or anything. So let me know what you guys think down below. I hope you enjoyed this foundation routine video. Yeah, thanks guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.